What's up, nerds? Welcome back to Top Shelf Nerds Unboxed, and we have a trio of sabers today that are from a galaxy a little bit longer ago. Yeah, that's right. These are the Old Republic sabers. If you don't know what the Old Republic is, it's Knights of the Old Republic video game. Kind of started this whole idea of the Old Republic. There might have been some Dark Horse comics that dove into the Old Republic, but this is an age before the prequels. And we have some of the coolest characters that are kind of canon, but today we have three very special sabers. I really love all three of these sabers and can't wait to show them all to you. The first one we have up is Darth Revan's Sith saber. We're gonna take it out this really cool Theory Saber bag. This is a Theory Saber that you can get. This is an SNV4 saber. This hilt is just simple, yet elegant. The chrome premium finish, it feels really nice. This is a really great saber to use to do some really cool stuff. Not like this, obviously, because you're gonna chop your head off. But be cognizant, people, right? This is plasma. You can start or cut stuff off. It won't bleed out, but hey, it's gonna hurt. The pommel is really nice. It has that old school pommel style. We are gonna maybe plug all three of these up and see how they all sound. But this is Revan's Sith saber, and it is really pretty. Let's set that one down. The second one that I want to show you today, tonight, in the morning, wherever you're watching this, is this one. You gotta be careful with this one because you will poke your eye out. This is Darth Malgus' battle damage saber from Theory Sabers, and it is just beautiful. I think the weathering is not over the top. The end of this thing is a serious weapon, so be careful. It is a little sharp. It's dull enough to where it may not penetrate the skin, but this one being battle damaged, and it's battle damaged, and Darth Malgus, if you don't know, is also from the Knights of the Old Republic, and also another BioWare character. That is just an amazing story, amazing backstory. Both of these characters, Malgus and Revan, have great backstories. If you haven't read into them, please do. May the Force coming up, maybe we'll have some deep dives into some of the lore on some of the Old Republic characters. This saber is just simply great. This button is merely for show, and your buttons here are to turn it on and off. We'll power it up later. But this is a Darth Malgus battle damage saber from Theory Sabers. But what's in the box is probably one of my top two sabers. And I know a lot of you are gonna say, but at this point, it is what it is, okay? Look, so inside this box, we get a nice premium Theory Saber box with the foil logo. Nicely done. The Arabesh is really cool. I think this actually reads out the actual motto of the Sith. We have power and victory and passion and strength on the top of the box. It really feels like it's a case from the universe. It even says handle with care, kyber crystal on the side. And on the top says elegant weapon for a civilized age, which is a really nice touch. On the inside, we have fulfill your destiny with the Theory Saber stamp. And then we get into our box, which comes with two Theory Saber stickers. So you can slap them on whatever. Slap them on your toolbox, slap them on your car, you name it, slap it on there. We have our display stand, which is a typical acrylic display stand that comes in a really nice, cool custom box as well. We have our user guide, which is a very nice premium custom design user guide with some really beautiful photography. Makes it really easy to use. There's even a QR code right here. Takes you straight to the Theory Support Saber section. The toolkit box, another custom box that comes in the Theory Saber box with your sabers. Really nice design. Looks like a case that just matches the exterior case. And on the inside, we'll have our plug and our toolkit set. But let's go ahead and take the bag out with our saber. Leave the blade in for now, we'll get to that later. And let's open one of my top two favorite sabers. This one is a little tricky. You'll definitely poke your eye, hand, arteries, whatever with this one. But let's take this bag out with this nice little, yeah, that's nice. Let's see how we can get this one out. So this is Revan's Jedi saber, or they just call it Revan saber. I would call it Revan's saber, period. This is just a great design. It screams Old Republic. And for me, it's always been something really cool. If Revan ever got mad, just kind of, you know, stab somebody right next to him, right? I had the Disney version of this from Hasbro, the Black Series saber. But opening this one feels nice, light. You can actually grip it in your hand. That's really nice. And the grip actually feels, it may feel awkward to some people, but I think the Hasbro version feels awkward because these ridges are so big. Every time I picked up that saber, it just didn't feel, you know, it felt heavy, but it didn't feel premium. And in the Disney one, you have to actually pull back these prongs to put your blade in. But the design of this, I love this design. It feels very Sith-ish. It almost feels kind of Sauron-ish to me, just saying. But it's a really cool design. It really looks Old Republic. You have your two buttons here, turn your saber on and off. The pommel is a very flat design, but I don't care what you say. I love this saber, not only because Darth Revan is probably my favorite Star Wars character. Okay, no, he is my favorite Star Wars character. This saber is just great. The details, the polished brushed aluminum. Theory did a great job with the details on this one, and it just feels great in the hand. But let's put a blade inside and see how it sounds and it looks when it's on. Once you take out your premium pixel blade, we'll lay it down on your Theory Saber workbench, which is always a nice touch. Take off your protective piece, get your toolkit, open your box, take out what you need to put your blade on. Every saber is different, and most retention screws don't fit every saber. Remember this. But if you're looking to get out of the Disney saber slump, is what I like to call it, constantly, I mean, obviously we have some cool Disney sabers made by Hasbro, but sometimes you have to jump in with all the scalpers to try and buy one, to try and get one. The cool thing about buying like a Theory Saber or something like that from any other saber companies, you're gonna get it. You don't have to wait on it. You don't have to like jump on a gun. Now there could be some limited runs, but once we get our blade, insert it nice and tight. Make sure it's real deep in there. That's what she said. And yes, I'm gonna say it every time because I'm a kid. All right, we got our tension screws in. Once you don't want to over tighten, but you want to tighten enough to where your blade's not gonna slip out of the hole. But let's turn on our saber and see what it sounds like and looks like. Yeah. Not gonna lie, this is just one of my favorite sabers. It brings a smile on my face. Lightsabers are just cool in general, but twist on, twist off. This one works really well, twisting on and off, and it might just be because of the grip. I'm just saying, okay? It's in thirds. I know how to turn it a quarter this way. Turn it back on. You have different sounds for different actions. You have your actions. You can actually hold. I'm waiting on. You press both buttons. Can you hear me? If you press those buttons at the same time, you'll get a nice effect. Turn it off. And then we can change our ignitions on here too.
I am the Inquisitor.
Tell me, is this training?
Master Windu.
For this one, you want to get to Master Windu because obviously Windu's is purple, or as we like to call him, the Alchemist. But one of my recommendations to the Saber community is I would love to have a Darth Revan font, Darth Revan sound. That would be great. Do one for the red, do one for the purple. Let's do some Old Republic guys, right? We have a lot of the legacy people, but so you can. The cool thing about these sabers that you will never get on a Disney saber is the fact that you can control the way your saber ignites and the way it even flickers, something like that. So, caution: looking into the blade for an extended period of time could cause nerd seizures, but you can change it something different if you want. Just press and hold the top button. You have different ignitions. There we go. Seizure induced.
Basic 6.
Now we have different ignition we go to.
Ignition 4.
Press and hold top button and you push your bottom button to switch between different features. Now let's try one more.
Ignition 11.
11. This one takes a really long time to go. It's a slow build from the saber, which you would wonder, it sounds cool, but from an actual battle practicality standpoint, if your saber can't ignite right away, obviously she's gonna be disappointed. Sorry, no. Obviously the person you're fighting is gonna be disappointed because they can't fight you right away. They have to wait for you to get up. So I typically like the regular emitter. I think it's cool, but let's take our blade out. Movie magic. We have Revan here. We have both of Revan sabers. This just feels good in my hands. I'm not gonna lie. I really, really love this character, and I love having both of these sabers. This is a cool thing, and to go with my to go with the cosplay, I think it's gonna be really cool. These just feel me. So I'll put those to the side. We'll put a blade in this one too. Let's go ahead and put a blade in this one, actually. Let's see the other Revan saber. Again, put our blade in here. You get really good at using Allen wrenches with the sabers. Let's turn this one on. Our buttons are here. They're really small, so let's turn it on.
Power on.
Obviously, it's white. that is not what we need to do here. All right, so let's turn our saber on. And yes, for those that don't know, this one is supposed to be red, not purple. I've seen a few toy companies get it wrong. Just saying. This shape is just really good for sound. It sounds really well. It's not as deep as Obi-Wan's pommel, but sounds really good. And it feels really good in the hand. Also have our battle. We can also do our
Clash on. Clash on.
clash on and off. Really?
Clash on.
Oh, you can turn your clash on and off. Check it out. You learned something new. I learned something new. You probably already knew that. But let's press and hold. And we get our turn it off. This one really feels really good in the hand. I would swing it around, but I don't want to damage the special equipment above, here, and everywhere. You're right? Yeah. So, but I really do like this one. This one feels really good. This is a great one to get. I think the pairing of these two is just, for me, it's really special. I really love having both these in my hands. But really to do some cool saber techniques, or even Aniobi, whatever you want to do, this one's really cool because it's really easy to hold and really easy to maneuver. And really light. It feels pretty balanced in the hand with the blade. The blade's a little bit heavier than this one, but really nice. Let's take out the retention screws and let's turn on our Malgus saber. You may be saying to yourself, why did you save that one for last? Well, because I just like Darth Revan. He went first. Okay, so anyway, let's just spend about 35 minutes taking the freaking screws out. Again, I'm gonna say this in this review. This is my only, I wouldn't call it a complaint because it definitely keeps the blade in the saber, but it is the only kind of tedious part to these sabers, other than like the boards if you want to add fonts and everything. But taking these retention screws out can be a bit of a headache. And maybe you want to add like a little Allen wrench to a drill. I don't know, but you don't want to over tighten. Remember, because you might break something. You don't want to break one of these sabers because they're not cheap. But we're almost there. Almost there. Take our blade out. Let's put these two here. And let us put our Malgus blade together. If you're a fan of Darth Malgus, please let us know in the comments. I do think both of these characters don't get enough love. I think they're two of the coolest freaking characters that weren't characters that were invented by George Lucas. But I do think these characters really have such rich stories and backstories of just defeat and turmoil. But also like they're kind of Sith characters that you find yourself sympathizing with. Like, you know what? Yeah, I would do that too. And And Revan himself, the reason I also love Revan 2, most people's favorite character is Anakin, but Revan's the only other one that kind of goes from light to dark to light. It's kind of really cool to see. All right, now once we tighten our blade in here, and our actual weapon without a blade, let's turn it on and see what this one looks like. Second have battery. This is the board up. Now they have a battery that's charged in the saber, let's turn on our Malgus saber. Don't hold the blade because your hand might fall off.
Power on.
Actually, this pommel sounds pretty dang good. Check that out. The pommel action. But this one feels really good balance. I think because of the weight here, it really adds nice balance to the weight of the blade. But this smooth grip on the bottom actually has tiny slits in it that really allow for you to grip that saber. Yeah, this saber is really cool. I love how you can see the blade here from the emitter. Partly, I'm like, not sure why this button exists. That's the saber design thing. It's sci-fi. It doesn't have to make sense. But same thing with this one. You push the top button, turn it on and off. All right, so these three sabers, definitely the Old Republic sabers. To me, the coolest Old Republic sabers that I can think of. Obviously, these two paired together are just something special for me. But having these, the Revan sabers with the Malgus sabers, is something great. And again, in a world of crowded saber companies, I really feel like Theory Sabers brings a premium experience, not just with the saber itself, but really think through the story and the branding throughout. I think these three sabers would be a fine addition to anyone's collection who loves the Old Republic. So I really feel like this is something that any collector, anyone that loves the Old Republic should get. These three as a set are just fantastic sabers. Details are great. Again, tension screws. But that's a small thing on my end. But I highly recommend these. Check out theorysabers.com if you want to pick up any one of these Old Republic sabers. Please give us a comment on any sabers you want to see us unbox next. And like and subscribe to Top Shelf Nerds Unboxed. Until next time, see y'all.